Years ago, I had an experience that really altered my perceptions in a way, and I wanted to talk about it because it's a useful awareness to have. I was attending, what does she call it, darshan with that Indian saint Amma. She's the one that goes around the world hugging millions and millions of people. And I'd seen her a few times. I think this was the third time. And I was disappointed. I wasn't feeling the love. My other two experiences had been really overwhelming. She would visit London in a place called Alexandra Palace, and I'd sit there and feel the air of this huge, huge space just thicken with what felt to me like unconditional love. And I would feel bathed in it, feel as if my body and my field were just drinking it in. And it was really, really beautiful. And then you go up and you get your hug, and that's the icing on the cake. You're sort of in bliss. Third time, and it was like, well, nothing's happening. What's gone wrong? What's gone wrong? And I sat there and was meditating and automatically think, oh, that's my fault. There's something I've done wrong. Go into a spiral of self-criticism. Had my hug, and it was nice, but it still wasn't the full biz that I had felt before. And I was disappointed, thinking, oh, maybe I'm gone beyond all of this now. Maybe this stuff isn't relevant for me. And a voice told me to do some service, to volunteer at the canteen. They were asking for volunteers. They served meals there and were asking for volunteers to help with that. So I went and offered myself, and I was going to be clearing tables. The minute or the second I started to clear plates from the table, it was as if my energy field opened, and there was this cascade of the love that I had been looking for and not finding, not feeling. So as soon as I picked up a plate, as soon as I offered myself in service, it was available. And I was so dumbstruck by just the simplicity of that single act that until I had been willing to give myself, as a simple act of what you could call generosity, then what I was seeking wasn't available. And this, in effect, is simple energetic dynamics. When we're in a place of lack, and most of us have a deep love affair with the idea of lack. It's a belief system that holds very strong on this planet. When we're in that place, the energy field tends to spiral in on itself, creates a vortex that sucks energy in. It's unpleasant for people to be around somebody in that space because we feel drained, so we keep our distance, or we keep them at arm's length, which exacerbates the feeling of lack because we're hungry and usually looking for somebody else to fix that hunger. And of course people don't like being around us because they feel drained. And we all know people that drain us. We call them energy vampires or whatever. If we're honest, we all know the times we've been in that place. And often we can spend years in that place until, or maybe we never do sort out the beliefs that underpin it. But if you do, then it changes. And as soon as the dynamic of your field changes into gratitude and generosity, then the energy field spins in a different way. It radiates energy out, and people start to enjoy being around us. It's a very, very simple shift, but it's hugely profound. That feeling of lack and emptiness sucking energy in like a black hole, or just the outpouring of gratitude and love and generosity. And we all feel much nicer in that outflowing state. So we know that there are simple acts of generosity or gratitude that really alter the dynamics of the field. And it doesn't take much. If you find that you're in one of those spirals of lack and despair, then it's really useful to meditate on what you feel grateful for in your life. And there's always something, even if it's just the sunshine or the wind on your face, that's a start. And it starts to alter the dynamic of the field very, very quickly. It changes the flow from that imploding energy to a much softer, radiant field. And if you do that often enough, it can start to have a really powerful effect. We always need to look at the underpinning beliefs, the underpinning wounds that hold lack as a template in our system. And that's really important work. And there's no way around it. You've got to get to those beliefs. And sometimes that's quite painful. But the world is moving into a different paradigm now. We're moving into a different set of dynamics, and we've been ruled on this planet by that lack, by the system of lack, by money. What we're moving into now much more is generosity. It's a totally new understanding of how energy and life works. That what you give is what you get. And the more you give, the more you get. And this isn't about getting a bigger bank account. We all want to be nicely funded and supported so that we can enjoy a lovely life. But it's not just about money. It's about a spirit of cooperation that is starting to be born on the planet in a way that perhaps has been lacking for a long time. And this is going to be like a hallmark of the next phase of our evolution. So if you want to empower that evolution for yourself at a personal level, but also at a planetary level, then it's useful to look for ways that you can be of assistance, to look for ways that you can contribute, that you can help others. That's a really key element in this. So be willing to give money to those whose teachings you think have positively affected your life, or to give time to an organisation whose aims you really admire. It's a way of having a very positive effect in the world, and it's important to give to things that you believe in so that there's real energy behind what you're giving. The old paradigm of lack is coming to an end, and we're moving into a new level of awareness. A lot of the systems of control on the planet that have underpinned and amplified that potent field of lack, of not enough on this planet, they're falling apart now. So generosity is a really beautiful way to support the dissolution of the old patterning, and it works in your own energy field first and foremost. But then, because each of our individual fields is a part of the collective, it has an impact on the whole. We are in a time of a birth of a new world, and I really believe that generosity is a key element of the world we're moving into. We're not in competition with each other, and yet we've been trained to compete. And competition is always about lack. There's not enough. Whether that's love or money or success or fame, there just isn't enough. We're moving out of that era. And we're understanding that we all thrive much, much better with cooperation and support and generosity. It's really painful to be in that fearful spiral of lack. We all know that. And it's not necessary anymore, because we have a much greater understanding of the dynamics of our emotions, of our belief systems, and of the energy field. So if you find yourself in that space, and it happens to us all over and over again, just remember that gratitude and generosity are very quick ways to completely shift the dynamic of your field. Okay, I hope that's helpful.